You ready?
53's mine. Check 53.
Topper!
Throwing on first down. Lawrence. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. 13 yards on the game's opening play.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Now Lewis here on first down. And an alley to run. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. That good for 19 and a first down. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on first down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they've got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
Check your hot read. Check 99. Check 99.
Ready?
On first down, Lawrence. He's going to look deep down the field. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Darius Slayton, his second touchdown on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Set, ready? 10-2 stop.
Switch.
Recon, 152 fighter. Fire.
Now Clark to throw. Throwing on first down. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
Come on,
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Clark from the gun, he'll throw. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Off the play fake. Clark. Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 12 yards there and a first down. On 1st and 10. Clark. That's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Clark on 3rd down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line. Charles, that makes now 5 interceptions in not even 5 quarters. Remember, he threw 4 picks last week.
And this turns into a tough situation because a lot of fans, the first thing is, oh, well, we need to change quarterbacks. This is your guy. This is your elite player. You can't...
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well, and that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
On second down, it's Lewis. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Flushed out right. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. Pretty good job escaping the pressure. Gets him 15 yards on the scramble, but now it's 4th down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
And the kick by Rosas is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, then no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Giants have it. It's picked up, and he will score. Touchdown, Giants.
We got 6.
So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
Rosas good with the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Let's go. Let's go.
First down and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Ready.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And job 1 here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath, first do no harm, and right now they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They run the counter. Whitfield. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Mike, 58, right there. Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go.
Clark now, operating from the gun. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Leonard Williams able to record his 5th sack of the season.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They're not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Giants will begin this drive in good shape. 1st and 10.
Let's go. 70, Indy.
Hey, pick your game up.
Snap.
Throwing on 1st down. Lawrence under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this 1st quarter.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16.
You got nothing.
2nd and long. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. The all-pro linebacker Luke Kuechly right there on the coverage, stride for stride. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
General West. Hey, Haywood.
Mike 52, Mike 52. Hey, keep it up, keep it up. Mike 52, Mike 52. Yeah, let's get a sack lunch.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Lawrence, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Raekwon McMillan in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. This is taken at about the 14. 43 yards on the punt, return of 4, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
On the ready.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but hold on, let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. And that's caught inside the 30. A huge play there for Chicago. 55 yards. So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Clark. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
I like that one, partner. They go back-to-back with excellent gains. And really, it shouldn't be a surprise who they were throwing the ball to. He's their best guy.
Yeah, we knew that they would get him involved early. They're doubling down on getting him involved early.
Don't be surprised if they'll come right back to him again. They haven't shown the propensity to be able to stop him.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Big Leonard Williams there on the stop.
4 yards on the
Under 10. Under 10. 10.
At the Giants' 14-yard line.
6-6. Pull it high.
58, boy. 58. 58. Mike. Hey, come on, oh. Come on, oh.
Hey, Alpha.
Watch the twin.
Here's Clark. Off play action. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish.
Go now.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now Clark to throw. Off the play fake. And that is incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
Butker's kick here is good. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. Maybe a little fortunate there. That was leaking a little, maybe leaking a lot, but he got it.
Yeah, he actually was able to make it work. How about the body language, though, right? As he watched that ball leak to the right, trying to bring it back in, and had just enough to get it done.
Check 53's Mike. Yeah. Hey, switch gears.
Hey, ready?
They start the drive on the ground with Lewis. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
Rock it. Fire.
A 2nd down run with Lewis.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Hey, check.
From the gun on 3rd down, Lawrence. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. It's taken to the 26. That'll be a 43-yard punt, but a net of just 33 following a 10-yard return. And that will come the offense as they take over. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
On second down now, Woodfield. And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41. He gets them a little over half of what they need, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Back to throw. Clark. And that will be incomplete.
And that's a crusher right there. Had his man open for a first down. Throw a fastball when that wasn't necessary. Incomplete pass. One of these quarterbacks going to learn. You don't get extra points for how hard you throw the football.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. The throw over the middle, taken in. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 25 yards that time.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Looking to throw. Lawrence. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
Pilot, 64, weak. Hey, Sam off. Hit it.
They'll run it now out of the gun. That's a gain of 11. Would have been a first down if not for that penalty moments ago.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Back to throw. Lawrence. There goes a deep ball, end zone, and he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. Marquise Brown, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead. Oh, I was just about to say he hadn't missed an extra point all season, but there it is, his first miss, no good. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This is taken at his 4. He'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line.
At their own 24-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, look at the clock here. You're inside of a minute. First half hasn't gone that well for you. How are you going to play this drive?
Well, I've been told.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swing.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. 2nd and 15. He'll get this one into the hands of Lewis. They'll wind up getting 10 back there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and 5. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half.
And too soft.
Tighten up, tighten up.
Recon, 132 fighter.
Wide, get wide. Hey, Mike 50.
Come.
52. Bring it. Bring it.
They go.
From the gun on 3rd down, Lawrence. He wants it all for the end zone. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done. Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
Hey, lock it.
SOS.
Deep grip.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. And it is good. Oh, that one looked to be in trouble the whole way, but it does get over the bar. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. The final shot before break. Lawrence. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far, as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 12-yard line. It's a 6-yard loss on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Got it.
You must be dreaming.
Hey, Echo.
Mike's 59. Mike's 50.
Hit it.
Now Clark from the gun, he'll throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
He'll take it at the 42. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at third down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
On third down, Lawrence. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he's got this down to the 35. First down, Giants on a pickup of 14. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go,
and he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Giants. Hollywood, Marquise Brown with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead. PAT up and good by Rosas. And the lead is now 24. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
At their own 26-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory.
And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. Leonard Williams able to record his 5th sack of the season. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down.
Pull it high.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Leonard Williams in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And on now is the punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. It's a 40-yard punt, but they lose yardage on the return. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Set, ready, 50, plant.
Check, 53 is mine. It's all right.
Protein spill, get it.
On first down, Lawrence. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Raekwon McMillan. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. And he'll give it here to his running back. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish? Holding that to a minimal gain.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball...
Now the ball comes loose. And who's got it? The Giants!
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace it.
Now Lewis. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12.
With the score, Giants 30, Blues 6.
The Giants on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. Looking to throw. Lawrence steps away to his left. He's got an open man. He completes it to Callaway. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal.
60 outlaw, X3, 218, chop. Snap.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Let it break.
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal.
At the 7-yard line.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Giants use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And it's no good. It has not been his day. That's the 2nd extra point he's missed so far. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll bring it a few past the 20.